Coming soon.
All right, I turned down a little bit. Okay, so I know we totally just cut off like everyone's favorite song, but we wanted to tell everybody that we have a new YouTube channel, and we need you to subscribe to the new channel because we're not uploading or streaming on the old channel anymore. It's still the Voice of Stockton.
It's going to be fresh, brand new.
New content.
Great content.
Yeah.
Only exclusively on KXVS.
Yes, and on this video will be a link in the description where you can click it, but if you want to type it in, we made it real easy for you. Bit.ly, the short link, bit.ly. So you can type bit.ly/subscribe_KXVS_YouTube. So bit.ly/subscribe_KXVS_YouTube. That's easy enough, right, Donovan? There's a silent minority.
Speechless.
I'm trying to get my accent right. Hold on. I'm just throwing over it in my head. Let me start. Hold on. Yeah, hold on. How to do it? All right, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to go subscribe to this new channel. It sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Yo, what's different about this channel than the last one?
Well,
what's changed?
Well, we're making some changes. We're always doing something new, but this is something that we had to do this, and we've had to do this for a while. So this new channel, it's really not much different, except the channel will be different. So all our new content is going on the channel, and we're going to migrate all our videos over to that channel as well, and we won't be using the old channel. So if you're waiting on that channel, you'll be missing it. So please do subscribe to our new channel, and it's real easy. Follow us on Facebook, thevoiceofstockton.org. You can find us everywhere. Keep watching us on our live streams, but that's it. We just wanted to break in and tell you that.
And let's make Stockton better together.
That's right. Make Stockton better together. All right. So, you know what? Let's start this track over because this is the best bomb song. And thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. KXVS, the Voice of Stockton with Donovan and Mr. Details, Dustin Breakwell. This is Governor Don signing off.
$1 a day can buy you great radio. At the Voice of Stockton, the GoFundMe is a way to help ensure you have great radio here in Stockton. You can be the Voice of Stockton on KXVS. Go to our website, thevoiceofstockton.org, to get more information. Right here on 92.1 FM. Coming soon.
You're listening to KXVS on 92.1, coming soon.
And welcome to Gamer Live 209 here live on KXVS, the Voice of Stockton. I am Joe Scotchy, one of your hosts today, joined in the studio by
Vic Chili,
Ira Ford,
and I'm Jacob, or you can call me Jacob, but it's whatever you want.
So Jacob.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Jacob is a new guest on the show, so like we do with all of our new guests. I probably should have told you this before we came in here. I totally forgot about it. Maybe I'll throw it on the table and you can defer it till later in the show. But, what kind of games do you play? Like, what are your favorite game genres?
Scrabble.
And what are your favorite games?
Probably Monopoly,
Okay.
The real games.
So board game aficionado.
Pretty much.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So we now have a board wing arm of our team to keep things real physical.
That's new. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you actually want to? No. All right. We'll roll right into news then. News.
Yep.
Super Mario Run is out officially. The Italian plumber has made his way over to iOS devices.
Pretty much
only,
mobile.
I believe.
Yeah.
No Android-based game there. It's Mario in everything but how it plays. And it's weird, too, because, like, if you think about Mario has played a whole lot of different ways. You know what I mean? Like, there's Paper Mario, or any of the Mario sports games.
Mario Party.
Yeah, Mario, like, there's, and to be fair with some of those are kind of like joint affairs of like all of the Mario characters.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like your kind of mainline.
It feels really washed down as a Mario game, considering like I just played the SNES version, like a few days ago, and like coming from just all you got to do is tap, and it's like it's really nothing. Like there's no difficulty at all.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah. The difficulty is in like running the stage.
I wouldn't know that. I'm a board game expert.
Yeah, board game expert.
But if they had it,
but the difficulty kind of comes in like. Basically, the replay value for these stages are... Because I should mention, there's not very many stages in the base game. Like, there's like 20 maybe. A little bit more than that. Maybe 24, 25, something like that.
Yeah, I haven't checked this Mario run out yet, but I plan to do that like in the future, but... The only mobile game that I've been occupied this year would be Pokemon Go, but that's one. But this Mario, I heard it's actually the top-selling mobile game, at least since it came out. Pretty much, it's been the top-selling mobile.
Yeah, and it's doing well, I think, in the sense of like, a Mario game on iOS devices, so people are kind of hyped for that in theory. But when they actually get their hands on it, they might be left a little bit disappointed. To be honest, from the basically the game comes in a demo form, and then there's a full purchase one, which is significantly more expensive than most like games on the App Store. It's kind of trying to set a new precedent, I suppose, for like pricing of mobile games.
Me and you were kind of talking about that.
Yeah,
it's like $10 for a Mario game. Sounds reasonable.
Sure, it sounds reasonable for a Mario game, but
Minecraft is only like $7.
Yeah, exactly, which is a vastly bigger game and intact in its like full form on iOS devices, or for the most part, at least, right?
Yeah,
you can't Minecraft is Minecraft. You can't really strip mechanics from Minecraft. Like at its core,
it's like tap to jump. Tap the double jump, hold the jump. It's really nothing. Like it doesn't have that like holding the controller and holding the run button and trying to like I gotta make this jump.
It doesn't feel like you're in control ever.
Yep,
it feels like a Mario game that is out of control.
Side scrolling.
Yeah, so I was gonna say you just run by automatically.
Yeah, that's just an auto runner.
That's pretty much what all auto runners do. You just control. All you do is jump in them pretty much, and while they keep running.
Well, no, I'm not paying $10 for that.
Yeah, and that I think that's really like what the problem here is that they made a free to play game and they're trying to sell it as a full price title, basically.
Yeah.
Because, like, a lot of people in general are just like, why is this game not free? This seems totally just like a free, make extra, throw ads in there, sure, and make money by selling characters. You know what I mean? Instead of running as Mario, you're running as Waluigi. Or whatever.
It's trying to bring younger kids in, considering most people just hand their phone to their kids and be like, play whatever. Most adults, they don't really care about games.
Yeah, and that's fair too, because you can get that and just hand it to a child and not worry about in-app purchases and like them accidentally running up, hundreds of dollars on your credit card,
gems or whatever.
But like when it comes down to the like core gameplay mechanics, it just doesn't seem like there's very much there in terms of A, how the game plays, B, replay value, and just C, its own merits of like what it is in terms of being a Mario game.
Did you actually
not really a Mario game?
As a video?
I played I downloaded and played through like the demo version and like the first 3 levels, and I was like, this is fine. It's fine. It's just a runner.
Can you still like collect coins in it? And
that's actually kind of the main point where the replay value, or at least in the main kind of stages, is they have colored coins like you expect from Mario, right? Red coins, blue coins, except they're in the stages and like placed in different locations.
Right.
So basically the kind of replay value is rerunning stages over again to get all of the colored coins in like a single run so that you can unlock the next colored coin set in that stage.
Oh, okay.
which is colored coins in a different location on the same stage. But to me, that feels shallow in terms of like replay value.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You can only collect coins for so long until you kind of get tired of collecting coins.
Was there any more power-ups? Was there any other power-ups other than the mushroom?
I didn't find anything other than mushrooms. Yeah, which was weird. There are piranha plants, and the game seems to indicate that you can kill piranha plants, which would then indicate that there must be a fire flower of sorts,
or a cape or something.
And yeah, maybe I just didn't get it in the first 3 kind of like demo levels or whatever.
DLC?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw it as DLC. Fire flower for $5.
Get 5 uses for $5.
Yeah. So Nintendo's just trucking along on this mobile game foray. They're trying to make their stuff work. To be honest, I haven't really looked into the reception, as to what people are saying about it. From the little small anecdotes I've heard that people are either they feel like, why is this not free, or they're on the other side of the fence where they paid for it and they're like, I don't think this is worth how much I paid for it, type of people. Yeah. So we'll see. Maybe if it gets more content and Nintendo decides to support it down the line.
Pachinko machines, man.
Yeah.
It's like Konami.
Yeah, Nintendo just gets on the pachinko train and starts doing Mario, Metroid pachinko machines. And no.
Have you seen the Snake Eater?
I have seen the Snake Eater.
The FMVs or whatever, the movie.
Yeah, the cutscenes.
Really nice.
Rendered in the Fox engine, yeah. It's when you're watching it, it just makes you hate Konami more and more and more as you're watching the cutscenes, because you're like, this could be a game. You could have just threw a team, like, instead of Metal Gear Survive, we could have been getting a Snake Eater remaster, but no.
I'd have a comment on that, but it'd be a conspiracy theory.
Oh yeah, conspiracy theory.
Let's just continue.
Metal Gear Survive is Snake Eater. Yeah, Super Mario runs out. You can download it and check it out on iOS devices. I don't think there's any word as to whether or not it's coming to Android devices. I would assume probably in the future. Companies don't dislike money, so look out for it. Moving on, new Resident Evil 7 trailer. This is real short, I think, mostly launch trailer.
Oh, I seen this one too, and it looks interesting.
First person.
Yeah, the first person Resident Evil game.
First person Resident Evil.
And also, it's going to have a lot of different new characters, but it'll still have connection to the previous Resident Evil games, as it's the first person Resident Evil game as well. But
he's not done.
I'll let you go in.
So I got to play it actually 2 days ago.
Okay.
I downloaded the demo, and watching people play it, I'm like, it's not even scary.
It's not scary.
But once you get into the game, it's
actually scary.
Like I was tripping myself out on my own footsteps because sound design.
Yeah.
Like they nailed it. They really nailed it on the sound, and I got to the basement area and just kind of stopped.
You're like, I can't take the tension.
But I got the impression today because you mentioned the new trailer, and I usually don't look at stuff like that. So, I feel like those family predictions, but those family has something to do a virus of some sort,
right?
T-virus, because they were in the trailer, they were shooting the dude, he was on fire, and there was a monster in the demo in the basement, something, so. Some people might think, they're going off in a whole other...
and it seems like there's other mutant things, too. It seems like there's mutant bees, and...
that's classic Resident Evil.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying. When I saw the bees, I was like, Resident Evil right there.
Yeah, obviously the mutant spiders was in the trailer as well, that I enjoyed as well.
So, in terms of Resident Evil 7, it's looking good. It's looking like a redefining of the series after the kind of debacle that was Resident Evil 6,
or the more action. I'd say more action oriented gameplay the series has taken since the fourth one, but wasn't able to capitalize on the success of that. So I think it's kind of great that they're going into a new direction with the whole first-person gameplay perspective with the Resident Evil 7.
I do like that as well.
Yeah. And of course, it's also VR support on PlayStation VR, so you can get all
extra scared.
Scared.
Unfortunately, board games don't have VR. So
right. Why would you need VR in a board game when it's all VR?
But I honestly didn't.
It's all
think,
R.
Right.
I didn't think Resident Evil actually had guns in it at first. I thought it was going to be like an Outlast. Where
where you're just running the entire time.
But I watched a guy. He pulled a gun out of a toilet, and I was like,
okay, because that's where you keep guns in toilets. Makes sense. Sounds like Resident Evil.
Yeah, toilet guns.
And you find like a magazine in the trash can.
When Barry handed Jill a lockpick, because she's the master of unlocking. He also handed her a toilet gun.
Yeah. He was like, "Here, take this. You'll need it." Barry. Oh man,
almost a Jill sandwich.
The voice acting in that game is terrible, but great at the same time.
So, how do you think the game's going to go? Did you guys, if not...
I hadn't checked out the trailer, but
it's not too bad.
First-person Resident Evil sounds really interesting.
Yeah, as long as they can keep the vibe and, puzzle mechanics and survival action kind of elements that made the original Resident Evil so good, I think they'll do a good job with it.
Yeah. I enjoyed this trailer as well, and I agree with what you just said, that from seeing this trailer, I believe they're going to keep all the survival horror aspects from the original Resident Evil games and the whole item management thing as well. So yeah, I think it's going to be probably the best Resident Evil game, and even though it's a bold statement since Resident Evil 4. But yeah.
Hey, that's cheating. You can't watch it.
No, I'm pulling up something else. Moving on. Night in the Woods.
Ooh,
so
yes, I heard of this one too.
This was kind of random out of nowhere. I saw it popped up on a subreddit.
Yeah, this is the game where you play as a cat, I believe, right?
Yeah,
an angsty teen.
Angsty teen cat. And things seem weird. I don't really You can't get a whole lot of a good sense of what the story is in the game, but based on the little small snippets of dialogue they throw at you, it seems weird.
Yeah,
it seems like it's got some weird stuff going on.
I'm actually liking the humor from reading that dialogue from the game. It's a bit different for a game like this. It's from this far, it actually looks kind of like a platformer, but it's actually an adventure game.
Yeah,
and so yeah, I'm liking the look of it pretty much.
Yeah, in terms of
graphics,
yeah, I was gonna say in terms of aesthetic, art design, it's fantastic.
It's really nice looking.
It's straight up looks like a children's book or something like that, really picture book,
clean lines. And
stuff.
Watching it, I got stuck on the cat just staring at the screen, So
being a cat,
yeah, from your trailer, it looks like there's more to it than I missed. But I agree, adventure game. If you like indie games, I guess pick that up, and but for a let's play, I guess. But other than that, you're talking about replayability, and
that's not the kind of game it is. I don't think.
And these types of things, right? When it comes to adventure games and indie games, they have to come in at the right price point, right? So, replayability is not really that big of a deal if you didn't spend too much on it and you felt like you got enough out of
your $5-10.
Yeah, out of the somewhat short experience, even.
Yeah.
So it all comes down to
who's the developer? Are they known for anything else?
I don't know. Infinite Fall is the developer, and I don't. They're probably a new indie team, probably comprised of.
That's likely their first game.
Developers from other studios. I can pull it up and find out. But yeah, no. Night in the Woods looks really neat and interesting.
Quirky,
yeah, is a good way of describing it. I think the art style looks really good. If that's a reason enough to check it out, I feel like, just to enjoy the art style really, because I think it's probably worth it on that merit alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really nice looking.
Yeah, but I don't know. Of course, it also depends on like what the story has going on for it, and whether or not the puzzles and stuff are entertaining. It looked like it had a lot of kind of random, different gameplay elements all thrown in there. It looked like there was some like rhythm game stuff going on, and
like a really, really close up shank fight.
Yeah,
that looked like.
Yeah, close up shank fight and some lightsaber action on some signs. So I don't know. It looks interesting. I think the art style is really cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing more in the future. It's coming out 2017. So stay looking forward to that, because that's coming out pretty soon-ish, I guess.
Wait, PlayStation 4, right?
PlayStation 4, PC, Mac, Linux, I think.
Ooh, no Xbox?
Yeah, no Xbox.
Hey.
Kind of weird.
Well, I guess. And board? They're not making a board game of it?
Yeah. I don't think so. Although I feel like that would translate. That would be a really cool board game if it had like cut out stand-up pieces.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You know what I mean?
As a board game expert now.
No, you're not into that idea. Moving on from these trailers now, we're going to talk about Modern Warfare Remastered for a small second. New maps came out. They basically like filled in the rest of the map list, except for the DLCs, of course. The DLC maps still aren't there. Hopefully, eventually, they do release those, because in my personal... No, I think they really should release them as free.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, the DLC maps for Modern Warfare 1 are some of the best maps in the game. So hopefully those do see a return to the game.
Can you name one? I'm kind of drawing a blank.
Broadcast, Chinatown.
I remember that one.
There's 4 of them. I'm trying to remember all of them. Broadcast, Chinatown. Oh man, now I can't remember.
Was there one with what's the dusty one? That's the one I remember.
Broadcast, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
With like
TV station in the desert.
Yeah, for me, Chinatown was the most memorable one. Which
I think Chinatown, which I believe is a remake of a Call of Duty 2 map that is set in Japan.
I was seriously drawing blank.
Yeah, but I like the DLC maps for that a lot. I hope that they eventually make their way onto the remastered version of the game. But the main topic I wanted to bring up was supply drops are making their way to Modern Warfare Remastered. How do we feel about this?
What exactly does that entail?
They haven't had supply drops in like a Call of Duty game in the most recent installment, so I'm actually liking this one.
Are you talking about those prepaid, or you can buy like a bunch
We're
of
talking
them?
about loot boxes. Now they do have loot boxes in Infinite Warfare.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How are they gonna pull that off? You don't get cool exo scoots.
So
little scooters. Yeah.
They now have character skins, so you can unlock different skins.
It's just
for
a cash grab at this point.
Yeah. But more weapon skins. It looks like they're going to be adding weapons and new melee weapons to the game. They already added a shovel, combat shovel.
Cool.
So.
Are they going to have cool enough?
Are they going to have a lottery? You know,
I don't know.
People go bid on them or something.
Yeah. Probably not. They probably wouldn't go. All CS:GO on us with it.
I do remember the combat shovel, though.
Yeah, we brought that up because some of these things leaked a while back where people were finding, like things like, why is the FAL in the game data for Modern Warfare 1 named something else? Like stuff like that. Yeah. Things that clearly, or like the Black Ops Galil is in the data for Modern Warfare 1 Remastered. Okay. Why? Probably because they're going to try to sell it later.
30 years from now, like Infinite Warfare will be the remastered version, and
a remaster of Infinite Warfare. It's so far in the future that it's nothing.
Modern dog combat,
modern mech, mind combat. It's become a puzzle game because humanity has uploaded their consciousness into like servers. Yeah, anyway, we gotta watch out for Activision on that. Make sure they're not, right now it doesn't seem too bad. Right now it seems like it's mostly just cosmetics and stuff like that.
But they're coming to get you.
But, yeah, well, I mean, it's a fine line. All they have to do is start adding variants of weapons that are better than other variants of weapons in the game, and you now have a pay-to-win situation.
Yep.
So, and it's not like they haven't done it before. Call of Duty, Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, both of which had pay-to-win environments because they had supply drops with variants of weapons that were just clearly better than other variants of weapons. So we'll have to see and see if Activision kind of drops the ball on that one and to some extent maybe ruins Modern Warfare. Because that's the thing, is everybody just wanted Modern Warfare.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sold that.
They could have just gave you Modern Warfare again, but now they're trying to
gouge.
It's like, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Like,
did you play the Infinite? It's Infinite, right?
Infinite Warfare? No.
You didn't play it? That's kind of
I played the campaign of Infinite Warfare. It's pretty cool, but yeah, the multiplayer is pretty much similar to all the other Call of Duties.
Yeah, the campaign is really from what I hear, is the only real redeeming factor of the game.
I feel kind of bad, dude, to know the company itself is like, the developers themselves are like, we're going to make this cool game, people are going to love it. And everyone's like, we want the old stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And I talked about this on the show yesterday, but it's fair to bring up again, is that, like, the dev teams over there working on Call of Duty are caught in a tough spot because half the player base is complaining and being like, Call of Duty is the same game every year. Why do you release the same game every year? But then the other half are complaining, why are you changing Call of Duty? We don't like any of these things that you're doing. Why are you changing the game? And I think it comes down to maybe a level of, like, who is complaining about what here. Part of me thinks that the people complaining that Activision's changing the game are the actual, like, hardcore Call of Duty players. And the people who are complaining that Activision puts out the same game every year are people who don't play Call of Duty in the first place anyway. You know what I mean? So it's like, if Call of Duty is not for you, and you know it's not for you, don't complain that Activision puts out Call of Duty every year. Let the people who like Call of Duty enjoy Call of Duty for what it is, and stop complaining that it's the same game every year and we want something different. Yeah. When you actually don't want anything from Activision, you're not going to buy it in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But
I feel like you're talking right to me here, Joe.
I'm not talking.
I'm not going to lie to you.
But, sorry, I'm not.
But there are those
to you at all.
but there are those people out there who.
I mean, like, there's a community on the internet that thinks this way and behaves that way, and, like, they're constantly complaining, but not backing it up. Like, when Call of Duty does this and basically completely changes the game, they're not going out and buying Infinite Warfare because they didn't want to buy Call of Duty in the first place.
Exactly. Well, they lasted those type of people in with the old game.
Yeah.
So, devil's advocate, basically.
Well, you mean, like, with Modern Warfare Remastered, they kind of, like
the ones that are complaining are like, we want the same.
Yeah, and I definitely think the Modern Warfare Remastered was probably a last-second ditch save face on Activision's part of... They're, like, 2 years into the development cycle of Infinite Warfare, and they're starting to see data that suggests, oh no, people don't want space games.
Why?
They panic.
They should keep making space games. Aren't we trying to get to Mars and all
right?
That? There's people getting used to space, man.
Yeah. So they see the numbers and they're like, well, we need a backup plan. And Modern Warfare Remastered was their backup plan. And to some extent, so far, I think it's helped them. They've probably sold way more copies of Infinite Warfare than they would have expected without having Modern Warfare doing its thing. So
I don't know why I didn't think of this before, but it's kind of like pleasing both people who are complaining.
Yeah, it's like hitting both
a new one and the old one
at the same time. Exactly. So you kind of just please both parties.
Last Call of Duty you bought?
Modern Warfare 2.
Advanced Warfare.
The last one, Black Ops 3, which is last year.
Modern Warfare 3, I lied.
That's way back. That game's terrible. Modern Warfare 3 is awful.
Dude? No.
Yeah.
Listen, too many hours on that game to say it's bad. Like,
No. You can play a game for hundreds of hours and still admit that it's a bad game. Yeah. I have hundreds of hours of Two Human. I'm not going to sit here and say Two Human's a good game.
Two Human.
I have hundreds of hours of Two Worlds. I'm not going to sit here and say Two Worlds is a good game.
Wow, those sound like some old games for the...
They're actually not that old. They're like mid to late 2000s.
I still claim Viva Pinata is my favorite game. So, and that's
because it's closest to a board game. Why wouldn't your favorite be Mario Party then?
Shut up.
Anyway, getting off Call of Duty talk. I'm starting to get tired of talking about Call of Duty.
Right.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm going to actually jump back to Call of Duty talk for a second.
Here we go.
Apparently, the digital sales of Infinite Warfare are fine. So, where we were talking the other day about how physical sales are real low, apparently they're kind of being made up by digital sales. So it's not really as big of a thing as people are making it out to be.
This just in.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. For Honor.
Yes.
All For Honor DLC maps and modes will be free. Ubisoft's continuing the trend that they've kind of set forward with Rainbow Six and giving out all of the DLCs for free, with the main statement, the main kind of quote being they don't want to splinter the community, which is the right...
I like that.
Yeah, it's the right philosophy to have. When brought this up before, and I complained about it constantly, EA, and to some extent, I defend EA a little bit, because I feel like they get a particularly bad rap when there are people, or like companies like Activision still at large. But the one thing about it that I will say is that they're still pushing premiums for Battlefield, which for the last 3 Battlefield titles we've seen time and time again is bad for the game. It's bad for the community. Even when people do get premium, you don't get the worth out of premium, because you get to play the maps for like 2 weeks and then everybody goes back to the default maps, because that's where 75% of the community is at.
Right.
Right? And you don't get to play all... Like, I didn't get to play all the premium maps for Battlefield 4 until they released them all for free.
Yeah, I was just going to get the...
I owned them all for 2 years and didn't ever play them. And then when they all came out for free, I finally got a chance to play them. And it's just a fact of, like, EA must know this. They must have DICE coming to them and telling them, like, hey, this premium thing, it really splinters the community, and we don't think it's a good idea. And EA is making them do it anyway.
And they're like, money.
Yeah. So, Ubisoft's been being really good about this, and I kind of have to give them credit for...
Wait, Ubisoft made For Honor?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also it's recently been announced that even though it's going to always need online as well to play single player and multiplayer. Yeah.
Are they gonna pull the rug from under us again with them graphics? Because it's looking nice in the trailer, and so did the Division.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like Activision's been being, or not Activision, I'm sorry, Ubisoft's been being a little bit better about that. I don't feel that the Watch Dogs 2 footage that they showed was particularly better than what was what players got on release. And to be fair, I don't necessarily think For Honor or other things that are on the radar right now for Ubisoft, like Ghost Recon, I don't think they look particularly good. Nowhere near the level of like what Rainbow Six and the Division look like, or Watch Dogs 1 when they showed it off.
Watch Dogs. Fell in love with that thing.
Yeah.
Just a flop. Like, I didn't care, because it was like you guys were talking about, like, oh, it's still a bad game. I was, like, so blind.
You can enjoy a bad game.
Yeah. So blind until I was, like, compared. I was like, no.
Yeah. You really looked at it and you're like, oh, my God. This is a bad game.
There was supposed to be wind?
Yeah. So... I think Ubisoft has, to some extent, learned their lesson, and hopefully they're not putting out footage that is too off base of what the actual product's going to be on release. For Honor is looking kind of neat. It's a very different kind of game.
Yeah.
This like weird fighting game in a weird way.
They recently just showed a trailer for the single player mode, and it actually looks pretty good in my opinion. So I'd like to check it out for that though, and because I'm also into like the history thing, especially because this 400 game is also reminding me of a show I used to watch called Deadliest Warrior, where they have classic history warriors like that are in the game, Vikings, Knights, and Samurai, which is what you'll play in this game as well. So that's why I'm looking forward to it.
The main baddie looks pretty good with that helmet. I mean, I don't know what she looks under it, but she's got it's like skullish looking.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope. But hopefully I don't know.
I haven't looked into the campaign at all, actually, to be honest.
It was in the trailer.
So
most of it.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what the campaign's going to entail, but I think the multiplayer looks cool. I think it's a cool kind of different take on multiplayer games that we're getting nowadays to kind of make this like arena fighting game in a weird way. It's got some like Dynasty Warrior elements to some extent with like the trash mobs and just throwing your weapon into them and tossing little dudes all over the map and stuff because they're not as beefy as the warrior you're playing as. So yeah, I think For Honor looks pretty cool, and that should be coming out pretty soon. I'm pretty sure in a couple months now. Right? Does anybody know the release date?
In
February?
February something.
I can actually click on the link and find out.
Sometime soon.
Sometime soon.
In February.
February.
What consoles are they going for? What's the platform?
Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Like you would expect from most big AAA Ubisoft titles. Yeah, so For Honor is looking cool. I can't find an actually hard release date here, but
they tell you on it, yeah.
And free DLC, so more of a reason to pick it up. Moving on to another Ubisoft game, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege has a new patch that came out the other day with a bunch of huge rebalancing things applied to a few of the different operators and a brand new map.
Yeah, I actually just played that new map today. It's not really an old or new map. It's an old map. They had it.
Yeah.
It was Article 5 from the situations. If you had beaten all of them, and it's just like a university level. It's got nice like corners and stuff, but I don't know. Like it hasn't hit that like quota on like how a good map should be. Like each map has like a flaw, like spawn camping and stuff. But this. I don't know. This one, it's different, even though you haven't got to play it. You know, it's new.
Yeah.
But it's got potential. I can say one secure point sucks. It's on a stairwell.
Yeah.
And it's kind of.
It's like, a weird place to you get caught out between people in the staircase.
But Tachanka.
Yeah, that Tachanka buff though, that Fuse buff to counter to the Tachanka buff.
He's way too overpowered already. Fuse.
Is he?
Yeah. Like kind of go back real quick to Tachanka. The turret, I just skipped Fuse. It's like,
It's like, Fuse doesn't know. We can sum up Fuse very quickly.
Overpowered. Straight
Overpowered.
up.
No, he got an extra charge, and now his the bombs, instead of being an all or nothing, they do splash damage. So like before, it was like it either killed or it didn't. Now it has the kill range is the same, but there's an extended splash damage range. So you can.
Interesting.
It's funny. I heard someone literally talking, like telling me the exact patch notes this morning, but it's like 2.5 or something like that. Like it's. I don't know. I don't remember. But
yeah. The exact like percentage number
like
with the meters. Yeah, it's like 4.5 to 2.5 meters.
It's something
splash damage radius.
Precise, like they really needed to know it, and it's like I just like. I hear it, I'm gone, you know.
Like, all you had to tell me was Fuse buff, man.
But they added that Tachanka shield, which it takes away your sights.
Okay.
Kind of goofy, because, I mean, you got the crosshair, but I'm hoping they bring
the iron
hardcore realism from the custom game, because that removes everything.
Yeah.
And, like, even takes away most of your ammo, so you got to really plan out. But
you can't just dump magazines after every engagement like a silly head.
But it is nice having that shield, though, because you can put your deployable shield down.
Right.
and to have that extra shield, instead of getting shot always in the head.
Yeah. Basically, Tachanka's not worthless anymore.
Pretty much.
Like, Tachanka is a viable operator that is worth picking.
He's not an IQ.
Who can still be easily countered. He has counters. Capitao counters him very easily. Like we mentioned, Fuse, who just got a buff recently, counters him no problem. It's just a matter of getting a drone in there and finding out where he is, and then dropping an explosive on him somehow.
They also did the UMPs, like UMP the.
Oh right, the recoil patterns.
Yeah,
so they reduced the recoil
actually,
pattern on a lot of the submachine guns.
I think the SMG, the F9, FM9, or smokes gun, the Glock, and then the Canadian operators.
Yeah, the
Frost.
Yeah, basically most of the slower fire rate SMGs have all had their recoil patterns reduced to be. Because to some extent, they were the same as like assault rifles, but they weren't outputting the same damage as assault rifles. So to kind of balance them out, they do less damage, but they're more easily controllable. We'll see how that affects the game in the long run, because of course headshots are king in Rainbow Six, and regardless of how much body shot damage you're doing, as long as you land one of those headshots, you're going to get the kill. So having those submachine guns now with much lower recoil patterns, we might see the defensive operators end up being a lot better than they were in the past, and maybe edging out over the attacking operators. You have something to say, Victor? You're just opening your mouth.
Oh, no, I was playing with the video.
So yeah, big update to Rainbow Six. The map looks pretty cool, different. You've seen it before, but you haven't seen it because when you did see it, it was all covered by gas.
Yeah.
So it's nice to actually see in its like natural environment.
I'm not trying to like complain about it. Like after Article 5, and you get that cool, sweet cutscene. Well, before too, like. Everyone's complaining like, oh, there should be campaigns to games, and then when they don't, it's just all multiplayer.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we should have, it's always wishy-washy with people, but, like, I don't know, maybe more cutscenes. Even for the newer operators, like, they just throw them at you, and you're like, what do they do? It's like...
I wish they would have doubled down on the actual, like, multiplayer narrative in terms of, like...
What you're doing.
I wish it wasn't Rainbow Six operators fighting other Rainbow Six operators, because that seems weird. It seems like the whole thing's like a training environment type of deal. I wish they would have just... there's a lot of things that I wish they would have done differently with Rainbow Six
Because the whole beginning cutscene with the lady talking, she's like, we're bringing the best of the best to fight these terrorists. It sets it up
differently.
It's like, we're trying to fight terrorists.
Like, personally, I wish that I wish that you customized a character. I wish you made a Rainbow Six operator and you made a, like, terrorist cell operator or whatever. And then the picking phase at the beginning was you picking the thermite loadout, the ash loadout. You know what I mean? Like, instead of these characters being characters, you're just choosing the loadout in terms of what you bring to the team in the operation. But in terms of character design and stuff, you have free reign to do whatever you want.
Okay.
Much like how they did it in Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2, right? Where you have complete control over what your operator looks like, down to the silly
dude, I've never thought about
neon camo pattern that you have on and stuff like that.
The color of his glasses.
Yeah.
Actually,
I mean, really.
Are you glad they... I'm just kidding. Are you glad they brought the uniforms and stuff? Like,
yeah, no, I think the uniforms is definitely a huge step forward to improving character customization. I wish they cost less. I think they're kind of
$15 for like the.
Yeah, I think they're a little
elites.
steep.
Yeah.
Especially for the like ultimate ones or whatever they're called. The I don't know. I don't remember what they're called.
You got to rock that khaki.
Elite.
Yeah,
that's what they're called.
You got to rock that khaki color for the SAS. And khaki commandos, bro.
Yeah, which I think it's a good thing too, because it allows them to worry less about, in the future, potentially not even having a season pass and being able to completely make the money they need to fund development of the game off of DLC transactions, microtransactions and stuff like that. Moving on from Rainbow Six Siege, Dishonored 2 is getting a new Game Plus mode. Basically what this entails is you can play through the game again using either Corvo or Emily, and both of their skill trees are available to you. So you can mix and match the different abilities from across the two different characters on one character to...
what game was this?
Dishonored 2.
Dishonored 2, yeah.
To change the way that you play through the game the second time around. You also get all of your unlocks and stuff. They carry over into the second playthrough. So what you expect from a new game plus, right? More powerful. You come into it more powerful, opening up some things. Yeah,
like the I think that was the video that I saw. Can I say like who I watched it off of?
Yeah.
Oh, IGN.
Okay.
Not sponsored. I don't like them. Anyways, it said like it was going to take away the powers. That was like maybe a speculation.
I don't know. I
make the game just you running around with a blade.
Let me pull up
hard mode or something.
The thing directly from Bethesda.net.
Like straight up. Like
you could teleport with Emily too, and with this Game Plus, and
that was one thing about Emily that I thought was weird.
Or is it the dude from?
Yeah, that's
either or.
People have been complaining about that. That they wanted Emily to be able to teleport and things like that, but since this new Game Plus basically fixes that complaint along with other ones as well, since you can match their powers now and stuff.
Okay, so I'm going to read the quote directly from the blog post on Bethesda.net. So,
straight from the source.
New Game Plus lets you begin anew with either character, but this time you'll have access to the full suite of abilities from both of the game's heroes. You'll also start your new playthrough with all the runes and bone charm traits you've collected from your previous game, but you'll be able to reassign these runes so you can choose the powers you want. So that sounds like
awesome.
To me, it sounds like, and maybe I haven't played Dishonored in a long time, and I haven't played Dishonored 2. Runes are what you put into the skill tree to unlock skills, right? Yeah. So you get all of your runes back to freely distribute across the new suite of abilities.
Dope.
Or at least that's what it reads like.
Yeah.
So, I think new game pluses are always really cool, especially for a game like Dishonored, where it has more replay value just in the sense of you can do things differently, right? Because it's a stealth game, and like things will happen differently based on whether or not you get caught by enemies and stuff like that.
This place or that place.
Adding the other character's skill tree into it also just adds a new extra dynamic, new extra layer to it to make gameplay different and interesting. So yeah, I think that's really cool. Good, smart update for Dishonored. In terms of what can they easily push out the door without putting too much effort into it. You know what I mean? It's just like tweaks to the gameplay and giving the players the abilities to have all of the abilities.
Perfect. It's like I can't even talk sometimes. Watching other people play, like they make it like look like a sandbox. Because when I first played it, it was like a linear game. I just wanted to beat the story and that was it.
Exactly.
But watching these other dudes or girls or whoever the hell they are, like shooting a bolt up in the air and then like knowing the correct time the guy's gonna walk by. So for these people that like,
it's insane.
I honestly didn't pay attention, but I'm sorry. But the new Game Plus stuff. It's going to be kind of crazy to see like how creative the players are going to be, and like I don't think the creators of the game intended that to be, because who spends more time on it than the developers themselves?
Right? Yeah, and it's just like the developers throw tools into the game, and they're like, all right, we're going to put all these things in, and we know they work together somehow, but we don't know the right way they work together. Yeah. And then players come in and they find the minute details about all the abilities and really work it out and take it to the next level If you've seen any of those Dishonored videos of like people taking out entire locations in like seconds,
Yep.
it's absolutely insane.
Go check it out if you haven't already.
We're getting ready to close out the show pretty soon here, but we still have a few final things to talk about, namely Yooka-Laylee. Yooka-Laylee has, or a trailer came out recently for the Capital Casino. Just a trailer showing off one of the locations basically in the game.
Banjo-Kazooie. That's all I thought of.
Yeah.
It's
it's made by the same people
Banjo-Kazooie.
who made Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
And they're actually the purpose of Yooka-Laylee is, according to the developers, is they actually want to try and bring get people back interested into the whole 3D platformer action game genre. Because those games were popular like in the late '90s, like Banjo-Kazooie and I guess Donkey Kong 64 and things like that as well. So
back when games were games.
In terms of platforms, I guess, but I don't know what to say to that. But okay,
yeah. Basically, a huge nostalgia trip of Banjo-Kazooie. The character designs are very Banjo. The map designs. Very
your partner
Banjo.
allows you to fly. That's the same,
Yeah, the game mechanics are basically Banjo-Kazooie. Basically Banjo-Kazooie.
they're actually. I think it could be a spiritual successor, pretty much. Well, which is what it is.
Yeah, but Microsoft's never going to give us an actual Banjo-Kazooie again. So
at least this is something.
Yeah, I don't know. Just because I don't feel like it. I feel like if they were going to, they would have done it a long time ago. And it just seems like Rare. The Rare that's at Microsoft now isn't even really the same Rare that made Banjo. Most of those guys are here working on Yooka-Laylee. So Rare is kind of a shell of its former self. Well, it's just a name that
Rare's. Yeah, they're working on the new Sea of Thieves game.
Yeah, which to be fair looks cool and interesting and different.
What's that game all about?
It's basically like a co-op ship game.
More of a pirate MMO type of game.
Is it like have they tried to make like Icarus or something, where like it was that blimp game and everyone had a role to play? Is it kind of like that?
Probably, yeah, okay. Kind of like that, but actually on the sea.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that game looks kind of cool, but it's just when people want more Banjo, even if they want more like Viva Pinata, it's just like those. It's not really the same dev team anymore.
Or even Battletoads, which
yeah. Well, Battletoads was so long ago that they could probably just make a new Battletoads. Don't know how well it would translate to today, but they could probably make Battletoads work. Maybe.
Yeah.
I'd say
Street Sharks.
Fans.
Street Sharks. Yeah. Anyway, so
are you gonna buy it?
Am I gonna buy what?
That game you're talking about.
Yooka-Laylee. I don't know. Maybe. It looks kind of cool.
I mean, you're the fan of Banjo. Out of all of us.
I like Banjo a lot. So, I mean, like I said, it comes down to price points and stuff like that.
Banjo was a childhood game of mine as well. So this is actually one of the few I actually would like to buy if I had any of the current gen consoles. Yeah.
How about you, Victor? Would you consider buying a console or maybe a PC to play it?
No.
Why?
That's just never been my game style.
Gotcha.
None of the. What if instead of a spiritual successor for Banjo, it was a spiritual successor for Spyro?
Ooh.
Oh yeah, maybe because that is the one game of like the 3D World Explorer.
Remember Croc?
That I did get into.
Don't remember.
Yeah. Croc 1 and Legend of the Goobos are in Croc 2. Yeah, that's another one I played on PlayStation. The first one, and the second one.
I didn't have a PlayStation, so I didn't really play any PlayStation.
You're missing out, man. It's the new hit craze these days.
Oh, yeah, Croc.
Hit craze, Croc. So you played those?
Yeah.
Well, so how old are you then? Real quick.
Sorry I can't tell anyone.
Sorry about that.
No ages on stream.
I've lived many years.
Yeah.
Too many.
Longer than you would expect.
I was joking. I didn't really expect you to.
Anyway, so Yooka-Laylee looking really cool. Bit of news on the Yooka-Laylee front. They have canceled the Wii U version.
Yes.
And they're now working on the Nintendo Switch version. Makes sense. Yeah. Wii U's kind of starting to phase into the state of being a defunct console.
Pretty much. Only right now, hopefully, right now Zelda is pretty much the only big AAA console like the Wii U right now.
That game's gonna flop.
Do you think Zelda's gonna flop?
Yeah, I hate to jump on the Ocarina Time type of guy, but you know, it really, like, I don't know. I'll give it a shot.
Zelda.
I gotta say though, the console itself is pretty nice. Like, I was looking at it and it's like you can. It's a tablet, and then you can add like controller ports to the side.
Yeah.
And you know, like everyone has a tablet, everyone can play a game on a tablet, but the fact that it's modular and you can like console, I thought it was pretty innovative. Like Nintendo's got their stuff, you know. They really
this time around.
They're always inventing new ways to play.
Nintendo's always been gimmicky. It's just a matter of finding the right gimmick. Finding the gimmick that works.
Quality too.
The Wii U, bad gimmick.
Wii U, come on.
Oh,
wait, which one's the Wii U?
The one after the Wii.
Yeah, the one that's just a Wii, but with a silly tablet.
They had
It's basically a Switch, but not a Switch.
They had one
a bad
game
Switch
on it. I mean,
there were don't get me wrong.
Zombie or whatever.
There were good games on the Wii U, but just the nature of what the Wii U wasn't very powerful.
It really tried to be,
and
Switch,
and like they made the whole tablet thing that wasn't very comfortable to use, and no games didn't take advantage of it really to make it worthwhile. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the time they just threw like the map down on it or something like that.
There you go.
It was just another controller.
It's just another.
It should have been something more.
Yeah, it could have been something.
The Zombie U game did well. It was an inventory menu.
Yeah, but even still, like that to some extent is better than a map because then you get like touch-based inventory, which is more tactile and to some extent intuitive to use.
Was it the GameCube that had you can plug the GBA into and you could use that as something?
Yeah, there was a few games where you could play with your
Wind Waker
GTA or GBA. Play with the Grand Theft Auto with a Grand Theft Auto. Switch. The Switch is looking really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing that get out on the floor more and them showing. I want to see what the catalog's like for it. There's an event happening on the 12th of January. I think
it's a Nintendo event.
Yeah, Nintendo's having like a stream where they're gonna give some more details about the Switch. I'm expecting things like battery life,
and even some
charging port, like the charging method, stuff like that. Although that's kind of leaked already.
Even some games as well.
Yeah, and of course,
have they mentioned the price yet?
No, but there's rumors that it's coming right around that like $250 range somewhere.
It'll definitely be revealed at the event.
Much. It'll probably be revealed pretty soon since it should be coming out relatively quickly here. Last bit on that Switch topic, the Nintendo Switch is going to be playable on the show floor at RTX Sydney. Which, if you don't know, RTX is the Rooster Teeth Expo, which they have at various different places. But the one in Sydney is happening February 4th through the 5th, and Nintendo's going to have Nintendo Switches down there on the show floor for attendees to check out and play and stuff. So,
if you're attending, make sure you take some hand sanitizer.
The weird thing about that is, like, that's after the obvious January 12th event, stream event. So I tossed it on here as hey, maybe look out for RTX for new details about the Switch. But now I'm thinking about it, you might not see any real new details. They might just release all of the details that you would have gotten out of it during that live stream on the 12th. So
we will find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. If you're going to Australia for RTX Sydney, then get hyped to play the Nintendo Switch. But
we'll see you there if you do.
Right. We already got our tickets.
Just kidding.
We're Live 209.
JK Lamau. Anyway,
I'm just kidding.
That's been our show here on Gamer Life 209, here live on KXVS, the voice of Stockton. Remember, you can watch us live over on YouTube. Search The Voice of Stockton, where you can find us and watch us live, watch our pretty faces as we talk to these microphones. Or you can go through our back catalog of episodes or other shows that we have here at the station. You can also listen to us using internet radio sources, TuneIn or Simple Radio. Just download either of those apps, search KXVS, the voice of Stockton. You'll be able to listen to us wherever you have an internet connection. With that being said, that has been our show here on Gamer Live 209.
Yeah,
Stay tuned for more great content here on KXVS, the voice of Stockton. But we're out of here, so we'll catch you guys later.
See you guys.
KXVS, the voice of Stockton, live. The voice of Stockton at Stone Soup Studio. KXVS.org.
Hey y'all, DJ Nikki D,
London Mark, Al X, and you can catch us on the Rise and Shine 209 show.
We talk about music, sports, pop culture, and whatever we feel like talking about.
Anything funny, interesting that we can give you our insight to. From 7 to 10 a.m.